Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to CollectioNeo. It's me, Alex. Who else is it going to be? And today is a very, very special occasion. I got my Guyver. For those that don't know, I'm a massive, massive Guyver fan. And this statue has been... It's been a while. One could say it's been 25 years in the making, but actually I ordered it last July. But yes, the whole thing of this statue coming to light and Prime One getting the license has just been an amazing thing for me. So what we're going to do, guys, is I don't know if you've seen my reviews before, but I do talk a bit. So I'm going to talk a lot today because we're going to talk about the Guyver. What sort of show it is, give people a bit of info, because with this statue coming out, it kind of brought the Guyver back into the limelight, especially obviously in the statue community, because a lot of people saw this and just thought, fuck, that's a great looking statue. I know nothing about the Guyver, so I'm going to give you some info about the Guyver, and then we'll get into the statue and do the review. If we do go super long, I'll stick a comment and pin it with the timestamp on, so anyone who doesn't want to listen to me talk about the Guyver for 10-15 minutes can just skip it and go straight to the review if you're more interested in the statue and you know your Guyver shit. So, the Guyver, what is it? It was originally a manga, came out in the 80s, 1985 to be specific, written and drawn, as with most manga, by Yoshikitakaya, and it's been going ever since. It's one of those animes that's been, mangas that's been going for a while. It's currently at 32 volumes. That's 201 chapters. And unfortunately, there hasn't been a new chapter since June 2016. Which, isn't great. I think he got a bit burnt out, so he hasn't done anything recently. But there's plenty there for you guys to absorb. I first became aware of the Guyver when I was about 11, 12, and manga basically started coming out here, manga video, and with stuff like Akira and Fist of the North Star. And then suddenly they decided that they were going to put out a VHS once a month of the Guyver, and it was going to run for 12 volumes. They were about £9, if I remember, £10 each, and I just fell in love. And that was the original. That was the the 12-episode OVA from 1989, which I think if anyone's familiar with the Guyver, that's what they'll probably be most familiar with. There was actually another OVA which came out in 86 called Out of Control, which changed stuff. It put a female Guyver 2 in and a few other bits. It's worth what. There isn't a lot of Guyver out there, I'm going to be honest with you guys. The manga is the main thing, but for those who like to watch stuff, the amount of stuff there is to watch, I'd recommend watching it all. So we had the Out of Control OVA in 86, which was like a one-off, and then the 12-episode OVA in 89, which, like I say, most people will be familiar with. And that's pretty much it. We had a couple of really shitty movies in between, which I'm sure, if you've got any knowledge of the Guyver, that you'll know the movies. One was called Mutronics in the UK, and starred. It had Mark Hamill in it. And then the second one is more notable because it was directed by Steve Wang, who used to work for Stan Winston and worked on the Predator and now runs ECC Studios. And then it starred David Hayter. And if you don't know David Hayter, that's the voice of Solid Snake, or was the voice of Solid Snake. But they're not good movies. The second one's better, but they are real B movies. Like I say, Steve Wang, who directed them, runs ECC now, and they do Guyver stuff based on that movie, and it's really expensive and not that great looking in my opinion. The designs don't wash with me; they really, really don't. So I've been loving the Guyver since then, and obviously since then I've watched as much as I could and read all the manga right up to date years ago. I mean, if you're gonna read the manga, guys, honestly, the best way to do it is online. Not all of it's translated into English in the books. So the best way to do it is do it online. Like I say, there's 32 volumes. You can probably get up to 30, 31 with no problem. The last volume, the last chapters you might struggle with, but honestly, it's like Berserk. Manga's the way to do it. The animes and stuff don't cut it. Did I mention 2006 anime? They did another one in 2006. 26 episodes, was a lot closer to the manga. So that, if you want to watch, if you don't read and want to watch something, that's what I would recommend watching. And they do change a bit of stuff up, like Guyver 2, who in the manga dies pretty much in one chapter or a couple of chapters. They stretch him out for quite a while. So that was nicely done actually, but it goes way more close to the manga. You see a lot more of the Zorlords, and it's just a better thing. The 89 OVAs, they're so fondly remembered because they were so gory and so visceral, and the 2006 anime is a bit more, a bit more 2006y, where anime was very, it was super visceral in the 80s and early 90s. And then, so basically the only thing I could ever get for the Guyver were these Max Factory kits, which was soft vinyl, and they were pre-painted, and you had to cut off the vinyl and glue them together. And that was, that was it for Guyver really, for a while. And then Max Factory also put out the Biofighter figures, which were great figures when they came out, and they probably still are now. And then a bunch of trading figures came out as well around the 2006 anime. That's pretty much it for merchandise. You've got the vinyl kits, there's a few model kits out there, there's a Future one. If you don't know Future, that's another guy called Takaya. He does some amazing sculpts, look him up. And then, a few figures here and there, and then recently there's been a lot of the Figma figures, which are smaller, 6-7 inch. The Biofighters are at 8 inch. I think Figma's about 6 inches. But there you go, guys. That is basically it. If you want to do Guyver, the only thing I can say is recommend is the manga. It like I say, like Berserk. If anyone watches Berserk or knows of Berserk, it's never been done justice in the anime. So the best way to do it is really to do the manga. Now, what I do want to show you is this book, which is the Guyver visual data file. No self-respecting Guyver fan should be without this. This is like the Bible. This is quite old now. I doubt I can find the date in it, as it's rather old. But let me just take the dust jacket off. It's Japanese only, so you're not going to be reading it. But the amount of information in it is brilliant. And it's because the manga moves at such a slow pace, it's kind of still up to date, or it's quite up to date. So they're the old vinyl kits that came out. And then the book's just full of amazing artwork and all the characters. So you've got Macaron versus Gigantic Dark, you've got Guyver up there. Harper's Ono Team 5, there's Guyver. Of course, if you've never read or watched anything, none of this will make much sense. That's from the 86 anime, the Out of Control OVA, but spoiler alert, she is now in the manga, kind of. But this book is just like huge panels of artwork and goes into all in depth. Let's just get into some of the. Let's find the Guyver to keep it kind of out of spoiler territory. Get into Guyver. It's got the Guyver anatomy, which is pretty cool. Honestly, I cannot recommend this book enough. If you read the manga, you want more. Like I say, you don't need to read Japanese. Obviously, it helps. It really does. But yeah, and then it just goes through all the Zornoids. So we've got Ramatith here, Gregol, and a bunch of detailed information and original sketches. Just Try and find the information on Guyver. There we go. So we've got all this sort of stuff, which is great. All about all the weapons. There's the Mega Smash here. Unix Master, and then it goes into Guyver 2, Guyver 3. And then a bunch of Zornoids. Really, really worth picking up, guys, if you do get into Guyver. So, I think that's about it. I can't really think of anything else to say. Yeah, so all this is leading up to Prime 1 saying, hey, we've got the Guyver license. Now, before this, Prime 1 were basically doing Batman. Batman, and more Batman. And you know what? Prime 1 have done a hell of a lot of Batman, and they continue to do a hell of a lot more Batman. But then they announced that they were doing anime, and I was like, oh, what are they going to get? And they announced like so many licenses that I was just like, oh my god, I've been waiting for this. Anime statues were kind of still in their infancy. I think Viz Figures had kicked in with theirs, and obviously Sume were on a roll with theirs. But then Prime 1 were like, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do Guyver, we're going to do Gurren Lagann, we're going to do Kinnikuman, we're going to do Evangelion. And it's just like, oh my god, how can these guys be doing everything that I, love? But Guyver was the main thing, really. Guyver 1 was the first one got for pre-order, obviously. It comes in a couple of different editions, which we'll go over. But ultimately, it was just like, this is a no-brainer. So, let's go over the statue. So, this is the Ultimate Edition, which will go over all the stuff that comes with this. Basically, you get a bust with it, and you get an exchangeable torso. And then there's a regular version, which is basically what you see there. So, it's that statue and that configuration, pretty much, with that base. Now, because I haven't seen a regular, I don't know exactly what's included with it. But I assume, from what I've seen on the website and the pictures, it's pretty much that basic pose. And then what they also did was sold a bust, which was showed during the Mega Smasher. Now, this bust originally was not going to come with this statue. They said, oh, we can't make it interchangeable. And there was like uproar, like, well, why not? And big props to Prime 1, they did it. So we get the Ultimate version, which comes with the bust, and the regular torso, and then a multitude of arms. So, and then you can buy the bust separately still. But this is the kicker: if you buy the regular and buy the bust, you can't put the bust onto the statue. Only the Ultimate version you can do that. So just be aware of that. Basically, if you want both poses, go for the Ultimate. So the bust is $300, and there's an edition size of 1,000. The regular was $769, and an edition size of 1,000. And then this Ultimate set, what we're talking about now, is $999, with an edition size of $750. Honestly, it's the best thing. If you're a Guyver fan, you'll be so starved of these sorts of things anyway, that you should just go and buy it. Hey, let's spoil the review. It's fucking amazing. So, I'm just looking through notes. I've made notes. I've made an effort on this review, even though I've just rambled on for 15 minutes. Time is passing by ever so quickly. So yeah, let's go on to the bust. Let's have a look at the statue. One thing I can say about Prime 1, which isn't that great, is their packaging. It's basic still. It hasn't got that premium quality feel that I've had from XM and Infinity Studio, which is no bad thing, because obviously this is a heavy ass statue. It's got to be 15-20 kilo. So I imagine a big fuck off box like XM use would just put the shipping cost up even more, but everything just felt a bit normal for an Ultimate Master line, or whatever they call this line. The box felt just a bit meh, and even like the instructions, which are here. So as you can see, we've got all the disassembled PCs, and then it tells you how to do all the different setups, but it's literally just a printout. And then, we'll go over that afterwards. we will. And then we've got lots of like different configurations, shows the bust, which we'll go over anyway, and then it tells you how to do all the putting this all together. You know, it's nice it's included, but I do miss the booklets and things like that. But I've read recently that XM aren't doing the booklets anymore, which is, you know, a bit of a shame because I really like them. Anything that, you know, when you're paying $1,000 for something, you want it to feel as premium as possible, and those little touches made it for me. This doesn't come with any art prints or anything like that either, which is no big deal, but to be honest, there's so little Guyver stuff out there, so little artwork to buy. I would have loved a print. So where shall we start? Let's start at the base. So in the Guyver, humans can be transformed into these things called zoonoids, which are basically big monsters. And what we have here on the base is a bit of a jobber's zoonoid called Ramatith. He's a basic type, enhanced strength, enhanced speed, that sort of stuff. But he is literally a jobber. So he's when Kronos transforms humans to zoonoids, he's really easy to process, really easy to do, and as you can probably see, he is covered in blood. Literally, the Guyver has sliced him in two. Well, down one arm, let's say. Oh no, he is in two actually. Once we get around the back, you will see he's in two. Did I mention this statue weighs a fucking ton? This arm is actually a separate piece, so I'll take that out and have a closer look. As you can see, really, really well detailed. Here's the arm that I've just taken out. It weighs a fucking ton. The nails picked out perfectly. Really nice clean paints all over. The gore's done really well. It doesn't look too cartoony. Well, it still feels very much like an anime statue, but it's got some little bits that feel a bit more premium. So that's basically it for the base. It's basically Ramatith in the front. We've got rocks running up the back. What I'm going to do, guys, is tighten up everything here and go a little freehand, because this sucker is 32 inches high, so I can't really give you my normal high level of video. So we've got Guyver 1 standing on top. And as you can see, I have the high frequency swords extended. Paint job is just great all over pretty much. A few complaints about this tree at the back, because it actually magnetises here and there's quite a bad seam. But to be honest, the rest of the statue is so bombastic and has such presence, you're not really looking at the tree. It's there. It serves its purpose. It's painted okay. It's probably the weakest part of the statue. The rocks are really well painted and picked out. And I will try and turn him all the way around. There we go. So let's go back down and we'll just check out the back here. Rocks are actually really well done. The overall design of the base is excellent. As you can see, that tree seam. But you know, it's not too bad. And there, if you just look in there, you've got the back of Ramatith, where he's been literally sliced in two. And as you can see at the base here, this is actually what the Guyver unit looks like. And that theme carries through on all the other statues. And we've just got shit tons of blood everywhere. But the application's really good, it's got a gloss to it. It doesn't look too silly, it doesn't look too cartoonish. Guyver himself. I say high frequency swords extended. It's just a killer fucking pose. I mean, it's so simple, but the size of the base and just the perfect pose of the Guyver, it all works so well. But then, of course, we got swap outs. So I'm gonna show you the bust first, just so we get an idea of what we get with that. I've got paperwork everywhere. So I'm just gonna, I can't do that. So here's the bust. Whoa, it's very close. So basically, if you buy the Ultimate Edition, you get this bust with the Mega Smasher. Now, you don't get this head. This head is kind of the true exclusive, because this is the only thing you can, where you can't buy it anywhere else. This is the half face reveal, which is a bit of classic Guyver artwork. And the artwork is actually pulling it from his face, and there's all tendrils coming off, like the bioorganicness. Bioorganicness? Yeah, that makes sense. Eyes are done really well. And the orbs. Yes, they would have been nice chromed, but I think they've done quite a good job on getting quite a reflective paint. So that head only comes with the Ultimate. If you buy the bust separately and the regular, you will just get two normal heads. That's kind of the true exclusive. That and the fact that this bust can be removed, they're the two main exclusive parts. Like I say, you could buy the regular, you could buy the bust and display them side by side, but you won't be swapping stuff over. We come with a bunch of arms. So we've got two right arms, two left arms as well. The right arms, you can switch out the hands for a fist. All the arms, you can remove the short high frequency swords to put long ones in. Like I say, the bust just pulls off. Everything's really big and chunky. They haven't done anything. They haven't done any pins or pegs, so everything just pulls off really easy. It's really nice. So switching around from one torso to the other could have been a bit of a pain in the bum, but it's actually really well done. Here's the bust base, which is basically a unit. All the bioorganicness again. It's a unit split up. We've got the control medal there. All picked out nicely. And then if we flip over, they've actually numbered the base on the bust as well. I'm just looking, because I haven't really looked at this. Obviously this is the same design that's on the main base, but there's no way I'll be flipping that over. Just looking at it, it says Takaya 1998. So I'm wondering why it's not 85 or when he started. Maybe he renewed the IP at some point. So what we can do now is put the Mega Smasher bust onto the Guyver. I'm going to pause, I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to bring you back in, guys. And we're back. So as you can see now, we've got the normal bust here. Here are the longer high frequency blades, or swords, I should say. So you can literally pop the short one off. Everything goes together so well, and just, it's like, it feels like big Lego, like the big blocks that you used to have as a kid, and you just bang. It feels kind of like that. We've still got the face reveal head on, and then if we go up to the actual statue now, we have the Mega Smasher torso. I don't like the long high frequency swords with the Mega Smasher. I think it looks better without, to be honest. Both poses are great. There is a pose that you can do if, actually I can show you that quickly on the bust. This is the only pose I don't really like. It's a bit meh. pull that side off. Just going to pull these high frequency blades out because I don't want to put them down and get caught. And then we can add that in. And it's a kind of a pose. You don't really get both high frequency blades either, because that one's like pointing out the back there. So you don't even get the usual Guyver silhouette. Other poses are great, that one not so much. So that arm is kind of redundant for me. His right. But yeah, it's fucking amazing, guys. It's awesome. Everything's Prime 1 just smashing it out the park for me. I think I said it on my Ultraman review. I've got more Prime 1 pre-orders at the moment than anyone else. And most of them paid off now. Thank you, Pop Culture Shock, for delaying your items so I could get refunds. And all the money's gone back into Prime 1. They're just smashing it. Like I say, this went up for order last July. So, what's that? July, August, September, October, November, December. So, about 18 months. Not bad at all. Yeah, they're just doing it for me. And if they keep getting licenses like this, and we're not talking flash in the pan licenses, you know, One Punch Man and Attack on Titan. Maybe myself personally, I might not give a shit about it in 10 years. But this is something that's, you know, been with me for a very, very long time and continues to be. And hopefully Taki eventually gets around and finishes that manga off. Because at this point, it would just be great for the story to finish. It really would. But paint, brilliant. Sculpt's fantastic. I've got no problem. I know a lot of earlier images and that people were moaning about well, not moaning, but saying the head's a little off. I don't think it is. I think it's actually, you know, it's one of those things where you see it in hand. I never had a problem with the head, to be honest. I was ordering this regardless, but the head is pretty much spot on. It really is. Now, there's more to come. Guyver 1 went up for order first, and then Guyver 2, no, not Guyver 2, Guyver 0. Now, if you don't know Guyver, we've got all of them here. And I'm so happy that I haven't really looked at this yet, but we'll go over it. So there's Guyver 0. Now, I don't know if you can see there, but his base has got a huge fucking T-Rex head on it. That is a quarter scale T-Rex head. Which will be ginormous. That is fully paid for me. If you don't know Guyver 0, I'll probably go over this in the Guyver 0 review. He's a human. Well, I don't. Do I have to go into the story? He's a human that puts this unit on and kills a T-Rex. In the story, when we get to Guyver 0, I'll go over that a bit more and tell you about other things. But hopefully, after seeing this, you've probably gone and read the manga and you can see that extraordinary bit of artwork and writing for yourself. But that looks fucking incredible. Anything with a Guyver standing on top looks fucking great. There's no switch outs for Guyver 0. He's literally got the long high frequency swords that's there. But that silhouette of just the arms at the side, that does it for me. This is Aptum, who's a Zornoid that actually turns against Kronos and starts to help the Guyvers. This is in one of his final forms, called the Mega Blast. This looked incredible when it showed, and Prime 1 haven't put it up yet for order, but I'm happy to see he's included in here. And then, because that hopefully means he's going to get made. And then on here we've also got Guyver Gigantics. These are like super forms of the Guyver, of Guyver 1 and Guyver 3. Not so much sold on them. They're a bit more expensive. They're big, but the bases and the whole look are just a bit suspect. No, I don't want to say lazy, but they're just not as good as the basic 1.4s. Basic 1.4s. This isn't fucking basic. And then we've got on the back here, tells you all about Guyver 1, Ultimate version. And then, who's just gone up for order a couple of months ago, Guyver 3, who's also got an Ultimate version, so you can have him in multiple hand poses, and then you also get a bust with the cross-armed, and which can also switch onto the statue. That is $1,250. It will be mine. Yeah, so I'm all in on this, guys. I really am. I really am all in. We're at 31 minutes. I knew this was going to be long, but I don't want to stop there. I've probably talked absolute rubbish through that Guyver, thing that I did. But hopefully, any questions, guys, or comments, put them in the comment section, and I will answer them. I am happy to talk about the Guyver. I'm happy to talk about this statue. Put them in there, and let's chat. And if you need any links or anything to read it, let me know, and I got you back. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pause. I'm going to carry this back to my display, which is going to be terrifying. This is one heavy statue, and then I'll just show you him on display with Ultraman, which is another Prime 1 quarter scale piece, and whatever else is next to it. So yeah, hopefully it'll be a second for you guys. It's going to be a struggle for me. And I'm back. As you can see, we've got boxes everywhere. That is one of the boxes. It does come in two. And there's the other box. They're big. That one with the basin is incredibly heavy. So if I can get far enough back, I will try and get this guy in shot with Ultraman. Now the thing Ultraman has, which I think would have been, just going to move Ultraman up slightly. Ultraman's got a nifty little light up. That would have been great on the Guyver. And there's the bust, which is a big ass thing. As you can see, even Machao on horseback fears the size of the Guyver. It's a huge, incredible piece. It's one of my, obviously, any new piece usually goes to the top of the tree, but this is, this is rocketed into space as far as I'm considering the top. It is brilliant. And, Prime 1 continues to do this. They're going to get all my money. All my money, Rambo Teeth. You like that? But yeah, it's fantastic. Any Guyver fan cannot be without this one. If you're a huge Guyver fan and you can only get one, you might get three, but this is out now. 3 is probably going to be 2020 at this rate. Maybe late next year. But yeah, Prime 1, man. And my next review will be Prime 1 Suguru from Kinnikuman, which again is another huge statue, about 30 inches tall. I've seen pictures of it. Also, Gamera. Gamera's coming in December as well. It's full on Prime 1 party. But there you go, guys. So yeah, Kinnikuman in a week or so. This will be it for now. I might have to edit some of this out, but because I did talk absolute shit, didn't I, at the beginning, but we'll see. I'll listen back, see if it makes any sense to me. If not, like I say, we'll skip to the review, if you can call it a review. But there we go, guys. 35 minutes, not bad. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. And like I say, if you've got any Guyver questions, any statue questions, stick them in the comments, and I will do my best to reply. Yeah. So there we go, guys. Prime 1, Guyver Ultimate Edition, quarter scale. Fucking unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time. Bye.